Welcome back to Doodle Heaven, Texas. We're so glad you're here. We're glad you're back, and we're glad to be back. We're excited about this month because we want to share something that's on our hearts due to this month. In May, it is National Foster Care Month, and that is a really important month to us because of our time as being foster parents. We were foster parents for 7 years and adopted 3 amazing children from the foster care system. And our heart is with those kids and with the system, and especially this month to raise awareness. And we want to raise awareness. You're thinking, what does National Foster Care Month have to do with doodles? And I'm going to share just exactly what that's going to mean and how we're going to make that connection. But first, I want to share a little bit more about foster care. This is Sadie sitting with me. Hey, you want to stay tuned to the end of this video because we have a really, really big announcement that you're going to want to know about. It's going to be a huge deal, so stay tuned. There's lots of ways to get involved with foster care. There is a tremendous need for foster families. The state of Texas is in a huge crisis for foster families right now. They have been for a while, and now we've added the border crisis, and that has only made it exponentially worse. To be able to find families to cover all the children, there are children sleeping in offices all over the state of Texas because there's no homes readily available for them. A home does have to go through quite a licensing process, a lot of requirements for that, as you can understand why. And there's just not enough homes available to take in all the children in need. At this spring break, in Gregg County alone, where we live, there were 17 children sleeping in the offices with foster care workers having to spend the night with them 24 hours a day, and then plan activities for them during the day while they were not in school. That's not a home for a child. That's not a place for a child. So if you can't become a foster parent, you can support them in some way. We have a nonprofit, Legacy Closet, that we started as a result of being foster parents, and we take gently used clothes, donations of all kinds. We also support Christmas for the Least of These, that provides Christmas gifts for those foster help offset those costs for foster families, because there's not like an extra budget in most cases to help with Christmas presents for children. Also, Beds of Hope builds beds for families that are needing beds for their children and love them more. That it comes up with these beautiful bags for them to have to carry their clothes in, because most of them come in a garbage bag. So Love Them More wants to make sure that they have a bag, and a nice bag that they can carry with them at all times. You can also become a respite provider, which is a babysitter for a foster family. You could take meals for a foster family when they first get a placement. When you first get a placement in foster care, there's a lot that has to happen. Number one, not many children are excited to be in another home. They want their parents. Regardless of what was going on in their life, that was their life. And so to have that taken away is very difficult. And then the slew of appointments and visits and testing, just all kinds of things that family has to go through is tough. It's tough on the rest of the kids. It's tough on the parents. Many times foster parents, both parents work. So there's a lot involved in those first few weeks adjusting a child into a home. And you could help by providing maybe a meal or snacks or some things for that family. And you would always want to ask, because again, being around a child who's been through trauma like this is difficult. It's not always in the best interest to come and surround them and shower them with gifts, because they can't really understand that concept. And a lot of families don't realize why they can't be a part of that and why they can't be around the kids, but it can be very difficult for the children. So please understand when a foster parent or adoptive parent asks you not to visit, maybe just to drop off food, that they're not trying to be rude. It really is in the best interest of the child. In wanting to raise awareness, there's something that we would like to do this year. So in 2021, we have decided that we would like to donate one of our medium standard doodles to a foster or adoptive family. We're going to begin a process of an application for these families apply for, and you apply for, or you could nominate someone. But if you are nominating someone, please call and ask them for permission. A puppy is not, that's not a surprise gift. That's just not a good idea because, number one, the involvement of training, a puppy, potty training, finishing their shots, the expense of grooming and things like that may not be on track with what another family is thinking, even though you may think it would be perfect for them. But for those that think this would be a great option for maybe one of their children or their family in general, pets have such a therapeutic value to a child, to children, to families. And so we want to be a part of that. We'll begin that application process and have that up and running soon. And we'll interview each family. We'll actually have a panel that will be interviewing each family. We would like to do a video of your family because we want to raise awareness about foster care and adoption. So we want to do a video and share what foster care and adoption, or just adoption, it may be international adoption, domestic, private adoption, any kind of adoption, what that's meant for your family, and to share about that just to raise more awareness for others that may be considering this journey and don't know exactly what that looks like. So it's pretty important to us that the family be willing to share their journey, the good and the bad. We believe in being very, very upfront and very honest in the hard stuff and the good stuff. We want to share all that. We don't want to share our world with rose-colored glasses. We want to share that there's hard things in life, whether it's adoption or life in general, and we want to be able to be open and share that and vulnerable with other people. So we will interview that family on video to share with YouTube land. And we also would like to do a follow-up with the puppy and the progress and how that's going for that particular family. So if that's not something you're comfortable with doing, please don't apply, because we do want to share that. Besides our family being willing to share our story and how we feel about foster care and adoption, we want another family to share that in this process. So we invite you to, once we get that up and running, and we'll share that probably in a link in this video once it's running, how to apply for that puppy. We're not sure which litter it will be. It may even be in 2022, just depending on the dynamic of the family that we choose. Applications will be up May through probably July. And again, we'll have those dates ready to go so that you can apply. So please like and subscribe so that you can see what's going on and you can find out where we are in that process. You can meet the family that we choose and see their journey. I think you'll find that this journey is hard, but I think you'll see joy in ways you never expected to see joy. I know we have. And we want to share that with you. I know you can think, I cannot give a child back. And trust me, none of us can give a child back. And yet, if God calls us to it, then he'll walk us through it. And we've done that. And I'm not going to tell you that there have not been buckets of tears shed over a child, lots of prayer, staying in touch with families, which has been pure joy, and just learning that process and being willing to share our lives and yet grieve. I think sometimes we're called to something hard because that's what God asks us to do. And it's not for everyone, but don't be afraid to step out in faith to consider that. Our children were young when we did it. They were 6, 9, and 12. We didn't wait until they were older. We wanted them to experience it. We wanted them to see life and what it was like for children who had different life experiences. So it is a family decision, not just my decision, my husband's decision. We would have done it before we ever had children had it been my decision. But that's not what happened for us, and that's not our story. But we're excited to share it with you. So please like and subscribe. And we look forward to hearing from you, and we look forward to reading your applications in the process. Thanks for joining us. Bye.